Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AKmindset podcast. Yo, welcome back, guys. Hope all is well. The winter anime review, just moving out of the cold into the spring. It's only right that we come back again with our best of the winter animes, the ones that kept us warm during the winter season, and discussing some of them that, you know, let's just say left us with a little bit of frostbite, or we just weren't feeling it. But hopefully less of the latter, more of the former. Join me today is Daniel, the one and only anime manga connoisseur. How is everything going? Talk to the people.
Greetings and salutations. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, so we're back again, winter season. Kind of, in general, I don't think it was like a grand slam, but, plenty of good shows, some less good, but we'll get into it as the discussion goes on. But yeah, just good to be here. Hope you're doing well as well, Raguel.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm doing well. Always happy to conversate about the seasons that we're watching. It makes it worth, tagging along with all these animes, the 10 or so. It was a bit less this season, though. It was way less. I don't know why, but it felt like I didn't have as much to watch. Or, like you said, maybe some of what I was watching, what the quality wasn't as high as usual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, definitely. So I think there were some shows that I was like, I wanted to test, but I just really didn't want to get stuck watching anything that I couldn't commit to. And because I don't really like dropping shows, but I was just like, some things I just had to avoid because I was like, nope, no thank you, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of things off the bat I could tell, yeah, I'm not going to like you. And like you said, I'm not really, I don't know why I'm like that, but I like to commit, then fully commit. Even if it's a bad show, I will get close to finishing it. Like I will hate it and I'll be crying whilst I'm watching it, but I'll be there. So like that shows you the importance like of looking through thoroughly and deciding what you're going to watch each season. Yeah, so moving into the first anime we're going to be discussing, Ninja Kamui. And this one was, I think this one, funny enough, smacked me out of nowhere. It was very surprising because, bro, like, it feels like there was no discussion of this anime until like a week of its release. Did you hear anything about it before the week it was released?
No, I didn't. I literally I saw some, like, because there's this channel I watched that do reactions regularly, and I saw it through them. I didn't watch the video, but I just saw the thumbnail and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't see this when I was looking at the shows coming out. I think because it's an Adult Swim show. But I think that, it's a bit strange because it's like a Western anime. I know it's not actually like, that doesn't really make sense, but because it's done by, actually it airs on Adult Swim, I don't really know like too much about it, but yeah, it's kind of like a sleeper hit.
No, I definitely agree with that. And for a show of his kind of temperament, a lot of physical altercations, a lot of hands being thrown, a lot of violence, obviously a good story that kind of allows us to kind of appreciate all of the conflict that goes on throughout. What would you say as a whole did this show do well for you?
Clearly the fight choreography is the standout feature of this show for me. I haven't really bought in too much into the actual story, but clearly the fight choreography is where they have put a strong focus on. And I joke and I say this is just anime John Wick, but yeah, they are, when it comes to like the altercations, they are really scrapping. It's dynamic, flashy, and fluid, and it's just everything you want to see. And I think one of the things I appreciate is a lot of times nowadays, I feel some shows overdo it with the animation. Even though it looks good, you can't really tell what's going on. But here you can tell it's clear, and I appreciate the clarity.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a lot of shots where it's like chopping and changing. Do you know those shots where you feel like the animators are using a trick just to make it the sequences look more kind of fast paced? Like they'll change angles like 100 times and be like, like it's cutting everywhere. This one, you do get a lot of kind of longer sequences, and you get the close up actions, but you also get the span out where you get to see like the scale of the attack. So especially when some scenes when Higan is like outnumbered, like it's not just a fully one-on-one each time. You scale it out, and you're seeing how even the ninjas in the background are all trying to position themselves or do a sneak attack. It's not like they're waiting for their turn. It's everything in the action scene is being used. Every character in the action scene is being used, and that's what was really impressive, because it really showcased their kind of creativity. Because even just pointing out what you said, you do get a lot of, because when you get to a point when you've watched so many fighting scenes, you can see the moves that are very repetitive, like repeated over and over again throughout different animes. This anime, breath of fresh air in regards to just creativity, the weapon use, even the abilities, like the ninja arts. Like when he drew out the ninja arts out of nowhere, no explanation, I was like, what's happening? I was like, what anime are we in?
That was crazy.
It was cold. It was actually cold. And like you said, do you think then this kind of anime, it doesn't matter about the story, is kind of second place to the actual crutch, which is like the action? Do you think that devalues it anyway, or can it still compete in the scope of the series we've seen this winter?
I don't think it's going to be in my top 5 favorite shows this season. I just appreciate that I can turn my brain off and just enjoy what's going on. Because, for example, when I was watching the first episode, I was like, okay, cool. We got a family and we can clearly tell that they're hiding. I'm just like, cool. So either the dad and the mum are going to die, and then it's going to be following the son. And then I was like, okay, or the mum and the son are going to die, and we're going to be following the dad. And then quickly you find out which one you're going to be following. But like, I was just like, these guys, this unit you're trying to show me, you can't trick me. We know what's going to happen. It's going to end in tragedy. There's no happiness here, bro. There's no happiness here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's some. I think what they've set up so far is interesting with the concept of ninjas, and then they've come over to, I think, America, I believe, before they were in Japan, and now they have the secrecy of the code. And if you leave the organization, that's basically signing your death warrant. And now, obviously, he's trying to get revenge on them. And I also like the secrecy of the ninja art. So everyone has their own art. And one of the things that they're trying to do to get to Higan is understand his ninja art, so that way they can actually beat him, because no one knows what his art is at the moment. So that's something that I do think is interesting. But yeah, so far, I think it's a good show. Definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. It just it knows what it is, and it knows how to do it right. And that's what you kind of can appreciate heavily with a show like this. And it's one of those, like you said, it doesn't have the impact of other shows in regards to like, this is not something you just be like winning awards, or you're talking, oh, ninja, it's a movement, you know what I mean? But it's something where it is anime that makes you kind of feel like, you know, back in the day when you're relaxed just watching something, you know what I mean? Like every time I'm watching it, nothing's going through my head. I'm just fixated on the action and one man's revenge-fueled rage to take out as many ninjas as he can. I do want to ask you a very important question. Like, what do you feel about he and his girl feeling it was a good idea for them to have a family, even though they knew that they knew the people they're up against, given that they have been affiliated with those people.
I mean, logically, is it a good decision? Of course not. But love is not rational, so I don't fault them for wanting to start a family. They felt the attraction and connection, and they wanted to do that in spite of the code. I mean, they have this thing like, oh yeah, you can't form attachments, but that's just not how humans work. So the organization can hold that, and they were successful for a time because the kid was pretty grown. I mean, they must have been moving around for a period, but they were grown. He was grown. I'd say he was maybe 6 or 7. I can't remember the specific age, but that can tell you that they were together long enough throughout the pregnancy. She gave birth and managed to raise the kid for that time, even though it did end in tears. But yeah, no, even though it's irrational, I don't have any problem with them deciding to build a family.
I wish they got away, man. I deeply
Exactly.
wish that. I know we probably wouldn't have end up watching this anime if it's just about them getting away and just chilling and living a normal life. I'm like, what's happening?
I would.
Would you have watched it?
Yeah, it could have been relaxing.
Couldn't have been a 12-episode one there.
Nah, probably like a young 6 episodes maybe.
Yeah, 6 episodes have been calm. 6 episodes of happiness and joy. I'm down for that. Overall, what would you kind of rate this anime?
Well, because it's still airing, but I'd say I think it's a good show, and usually the scores I give good shows is about 7. So yeah, I'll give it 7 out of 10.
I'm a bit ahead of you when it comes to watching that. So and the developments that happen and the introduction of different characters and different dynamics and relationships, and you get a little kind of cheeky backstories. I will give it a good 8. A good 8.
Okay. Well, okay.
I did really enjoy this. Yeah, potential to rise. There's growth. There's growth. Obviously, there's potential to fall as well because it's not finished.
Hey, that's very. I feel like that's a good segue for the next show.
It is.
If it's next.
It is next. Well, actually, yeah, because of how sure we're going to discuss this one, it's best we do it now because you start off good, then you dip down, like that we just said. Metallic Rouge, the anime that sold us a dream on episode 1, the anime that led us to believe it might have a lot of potential. The question I would ask you first is, when did you know this wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not. So, backstory. So, I took the break in February, and I think I stopped at episode 3. So, I came back and I was like, okay, I haven't watched this show in a while. Let me start. And first episode, I started watching 4, and I was just like, whoa, this does not have the same feeling. I took a break and. Yeah, it's not capturing my attention. So I was watching the episodes and I was like, raw. This has been a long time. I checked the thing and I'm still on episode 4. And I'm like, what the hell? It's taking so long to watch episodes. I'm just like, so yeah, from episode 5, I've been watching it on 1.5 times speed. I switched to English dub so then I don't have to look at the screen. So yeah, that should just tell you about my interest in the show.
You did everything in your power not to have your eyes on the screen, and I respect it. Absolutely,
I can't do it, man. It's so boring.
Yeah, man, and it's a weird one because, like I said, we're not going to spend too long on it. I would say it's good to at least let the audience know what kind of initially brought this to our attention in regards to what made the first episode. To make us feel like it's going to be enjoyable. So I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I didn't really know much about the show. All I knew it was a anime original, and because it was an original, I know that you have that coin flip of good or bad. But I was like, okay, let me see what's gonna serve up. So the first episode, it looked intriguing. We're on Mars. they're introducing all the different races, and then was getting a bit of insight into the main duo and how they work and what their plan is for, or what their goal is. So I feel like the first episode did a good job of introducing those elements. It made me curious to see more. And it looked good as well. So like I felt like there was a good starting point. It's just as the series went on, it became more unclear where we were going and what the purpose of the series was.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. And like, I have to emphasize, the anime does look good. Like, the character designs are clean, and the world and stuff is nice to look at. But like Daniel so eloquently put, as soon as you got beyond the second episode, third episode, the novelty of like a lack of clarity became lost on me. Like the first episode, I remember the first conversation we kind of had. I was like, I'm interested because it's not giving us a lot on first ground, but it's showing a lot and not saying a lot. And for a first episode, that is not, it's a good quality. It's like you are showing us the potential that this series can have, and the different ways we can go with these characters, with the concepts, with everything you presented to us. But I'm 4 episodes in, and we have not gone anywhere with this. Like we haven't broken any real grounds, and I really wanted it to do well, because just it's my type of series, anime original, political in some aspects, conversation about humanity and what isn't human, what is human, status, society. It has all of the ingredients that kind of could engage me, but it lost the plot. Before we move on, because we're not going to spend too much time on this, do you think that this anime will do a 180 and the last couple episodes will bring it all together?
Impossible, man. It can't do it. It's I'm still like, episode 10 is the last one I watched, and I'm still like bored, and I haven't understanding of the plot. I just don't care. If I could say something nice about it, is that the opening slaps. That's the only thing. The opening is a banger.
It does bang. I'm not gonna lie to you, it does bang. You're right. So as you can tell, this is not one that me and Daniel will be recommending. It's not a winter banger. It's a winter stinker.
Unfortunately,
throw it away.
You get them, so hits and misses.
It's true. Any last thoughts?
Like episode 1, it was great. Episode 10, it's not great. So yeah, if you enjoy it, more power to you. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, man. We are not hating on your taste. We just, it didn't move us. Didn't move the needle.
Nah, definitely
not. Moving on to our next anime, something that I'm sure will spread a bit more positivity just due to its nature. One Netflix anime. Netflix has been coming out with some bangers. We can't deny, like, Netflix and anime is on a slight rise. Delicious in Dungeon. Okay. I want to go off the bat. This series, did it surprise you in any way?
I think with this series, what surprised me is, well, I think what surprised me is how long it took me to end up appreciating it, because I would say it wasn't until I came back from my break I started to really enjoy the series. So I'd watched probably up to 4 episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm still trying to see why people rave about it, but I think from after episode 4, it's been really good, and I think the key thing for me is the comedy started to really make me laugh, and that really helped to improve my enjoyment of the series.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you hit on that. The comedy, like I've been in bed and I've screamed just out loud, like outlandishly. You know, people in the yard thinking, "What's going on? Is for Joe all right?" Now I'm enjoying this anime, man. It's so good. Oh my days. I think the thing that surprised me more than anything else was how graphic it was able to get, and like it's kind of shocking because it can be misleading in regards to, you see the animation style. We kind of discussed it before in other animes in similar kind of styles. The animation style, the character design, the vibrancy of
kind of cutesy.
Very
not even cutesy, but like homely. Like not really the, like you're saying, you wouldn't expect the gruesomeness that you see from the way the show looks. It's kind of cozy. That's the word I should use.
That's the one. So it felt the same way. Like it makes you really comfortable.
Yeah.
And then it will hit you with somebody getting shot in the head, and you're like, what? And you be like, is that person dead? And you're confused. You're like, nah, there's no way. Does this person just die on my screen? This show can't be doing this. Like,
yeah, man.
It's an all-rounder, and I think that's what I really enjoyed. I think it had well balanced in all aspects: the comedic aspect, the storytelling, the characters especially. What do you think of our main trio, and how well do you think they did to add to, you know, you becoming more invested in like following their kind of journey?
Okay, so I'll go in order of like who I like the least to who I like the most. So Leos, he's an interesting guy because low-key sometimes he frustrates me, but then he has a lot of good qualities that I feel like in the episode I last watched, episode 10, before they're about to confront the dragon, he shows a lot of positive leadership qualities, and it kind of shows why he is the head of the group. But then the way man is so enthusiastic about monsters and monster cuisine, it baffles the mind. Yeah, I mean, he's an eccentric guy. I appreciate him. He's very funny. But next, I feel Marcel. I really like her. I don't know. I think the mage type characters are always someone I gravitate to. But yeah, she's cool, and I like her relationship with Leos's sister, whose name actually escapes me right now. I think it's like
same, you know.
Farlin. That's it. There you go, Farlin. Yeah, but yeah, I really like her, and then because she's like me. Because if I was in their party and they're like, "Oh yeah, eat this slime," I'm like, bro, you're lucky that I rate your sister so much. Because bro, some of the things they're serving up is brazy. And then lastly, Chilchuck. Yeah, I like him. He's cool, straight shooter. Serious about his craft. He's here for his job, and he takes his job seriously. And I think he gets a lot of laughs out of me as well. That's why I like him the most out of the three.
Calm. What about Senshi? Were you feeling Senshi?
Senshi, that guy. I can't like when I wasn't really like enamored with the show. He was the one who would frustrate me the most because I'm like, bro, this guy. He's not like. I think there was one episode where Chilchuck was like, okay, cool. We need to go in this way to not trigger the traps, and he was just blatantly ignoring him. And I was getting so mad because I'm like, yo, you're not respecting his job, man. His job is to help avoid these things and make sure like the party gets there safely, and you're out here just playing around. So I was getting really angry. But no, essentially he's a good dude, man. He's good. He's a good dude.
He's chaotic. I can't lie to you. He is chaotic.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. I like him. He's very likable. They wouldn't have even got to the 5th floor or whatever without him. No way they would have got there.
At all. And he's a great chef.
Man. Chef. Yeah, serious chefers.
Chefers. When the cookbook comes out, you know, there's no monsters to cook, but I'll purchase it just to have it in the bookshelf.
Yeah, man. I feel like they got some serious recipes in there, man.
They really do. I'll quickly go through mine. My favorite was Marcel. She's cold. I just liked it. I fell in love with just her expressions too. What she was seeing, her expressions are so funny, and like she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's really committed to the group and really wants to contribute. And even though at times she feels like being the only woman, like female here, it's long, but she just gets on with it, and that's what I like. And she's always willing to try and always willing to kind of work hard for the others around her and stuff like that. And I feel like she's the real glue. Like, you know, it really connects everybody. Chill Chuck was my second. Just general. I just liked him. There's one of those characters, I don't know why I just liked him. Like, I can't even explain it. I just when he was there, I just liked him. And like you said, he had a lot of funny moments, and I like how he tries to pat in the other people. Like, he'll give you that tone of voice when he's like, man, like, behave. Like, we're trying to do something serious here. You know what I mean? And it's cold. And then tie-in is Loisi and Senshi. Both of them for me are equal, but I like them all. I think kind of picking on what you said about Leois, how unserious he is in regards to his commitment to exploring all manners of flavors when it comes to monsters. Did he forget about his sister for 5 episodes?
Fam, listen. That was another thing, because I was like, bro, your sister got eaten, and the way these men are like, you know what? Can we eat that monster? Like, bro, like, are we not in a rush? But then when they were saying about, they can resurrect her, that's why I figured, and then because of the length of time it takes for the dragon to digest, that's why. But I think that was something it took me a while to get over, because the lack of urgency, when you would think your sister being in the belly of a dragon would be an urgent thing, you know?
Bro was chilling. He was actually chilling. Like, there was a point in the anime when I was thinking, yo, like, have they forgot about the main plot of the show? Like, you hit us with, we had a fight against a crazy dragon and it ate my sister. And now we're venturing down into the depths or these dungeons to find her. The side part was, we have to eat monsters to survive, to make sure we're able to get to our sister. The side part became the main meal. Ironically, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, and to be honest, that shows you how entertaining and how fun this show is. Because I didn't mind. I wasn't even stressed. I was like, all right, we'll get there when we get there. But you guys, you might have to take an L when you realize you can't save your sister, though. But at least you enjoyed your food.
It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. But you know what? I don't think I can remember. But if you can remember, what was your favorite? What was the dish that they made that you feel like, I might have to try that?
Okay. There was, so the dish when they broke into the goblin's place and they cooked to the goblin family. And
yeah.
I recall him just frying out an array of different things. I know that he also made some bread with it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that just looked like a hearty meal. It looked like, and I knew, you know, it's a good meal when, like, even your enemies at that point were just helping out in preparing the meal. It's like, do you know what? This is, technically you are a prisoner, we're keeping you, but, you know, let me lend a helping hand and let's create something. But yeah, definitely for me, I did enjoy all the meals though. Like, I liked how absurd, like, the monsters would be. and then how creatively and how close to reality those meals will be. You know what I mean? It was crazy. What about you, if you can remember?
I think it was the basilisk, the chicken with the snake tail. Yeah, I feel like I can definitely. That looks at least a bit normal, and it had the egg as well in it. So I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, that can run for sure.
You said palatable. That looks palatable.
Yes, yes. All them flipping slime noodles or whatever they were making. Allow me, no way. Or maybe the soup with the undine.
That's true.
That looked good too.
That looked cold. Actually looked cold because it was like all the vegetables and the stuff in it. Yep. Oh my days, that look. Oh, you see, and watching that show, at some moments you might feel hungry. I can't lie to you. Actually, you might feel hungry
for sure.
Like visually and that. Overall, rate this anime. Tell people why this is one of the winter kind of must watch, or maybe it's not. Let them know.
Well, I would say definitely stick with it and be patient, because this is like true dungeon crawling. This is the essence of, I feel, going into the dungeon fantasy. We're exploring, we're trying to find something, and each floor has its unique quirks, the different rooms, the traps, understanding how to avoid, and then even just the makeup of the party. You know, you've got your warrior, you've got the thief, you've got your tank, and you've got the mage. Like this is just fantasy anime, you know, in the anime form. And also, I think one thing that really surprised me in the recent episode is the because we've already had the world building in the dungeon, but now when we went outside the dungeon, you're getting even more world building about the world in general, not just the dungeon. And that for me really began to open my eyes and see, like, okay, this is where the series might start to expand to once we do save the sister. And also, I really like how balanced it is, where just because you're a mage, it doesn't mean you can do anything. It's very important that the party is balanced, because everyone does their specific role. And, you know, some people excel at others things that people are weak at. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a good fantasy show, you know, we had Freerun and we have this show as well. Coming out weekly, English dub too, so plenty of options. Yeah, I would rate it. Currently, I feel like it's one of the things I really look forward to watching. So 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10. I want to see how it ends before I fully kind of, well, not ends, but at least this season, how this season ends.
Yeah.
Before I kind of give a definite kind of answer to that. But like so far, as you have well said, this show just one of the shows this season that I am excited to watch weekly, and I'm happy to go back to. And that's a real high standard, I think, when you're an anime watcher and you consume a lot of anime and you've seen a lot of anime. If something is like sparks that kind of joy, innate joy, that like an intrigue, like I have to be there. And this show is one of those for sure. And I think it is, especially even though it's a, like you said, fantasy, very fantasy world in regards to its makeup, it has something in it for everyone. Like it is very rangy, and there's not a lot I wouldn't say anybody out there would not find enjoyable. You would find something in this that would like bring you some time of enjoyment. So yeah, for me, this is definitely a winter must watch. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add just about this anime. Any last thoughts?
No last thoughts, but I'm just really excited to see how they're gonna handle the dragon. One of the reasons I decided to wait is because I heard that they're doing a special screening of episodes 11 to 13 because they're just that ahead in the production, which also speaks to the great schedule and quality for the animators that they're able to. I think they've even finished production for this show, so that just shows that, you know, how a anime can be great when you give them the proper time. So first, shout out to Trigger, and shout out to also to all the animators who are working on the show, and also the voice actors and the composition people. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, 100%. This is an anime I wish we were doing the AK watch for week to week. It would have been a movie.
Yeah, it would be interesting because like the switch going from being okay, lukewarm on the show to very excited with the show. I think that would be cool to just, it's always fun to see the week to week. Especially because I think the last 2 AK watches has been series I've already read the manga for, so it's kind of a thing where I'm just comparing. It's nice to have something where it's fresh for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been nice.
It would have been very nice. I wish if we had a time machine, this is the one. But it's weird. It's like you said, you can just never know with these animes. Like you just
imagine if we did a metallic Rouge.
Oh, we'd be finished. It might be the first time we dropped side, because I know on a week to week it would have been pure depression on the wavelengths.
Man, nah. It would have just been like 10-minute episodes, because bro, I can't. Nah, but yeah, okay. Enough negativity.
Enough negativity for sure. Moving kind of close to the end of this rendition, but it's only right that we get a spotlight of choice from both of us. Anime that wasn't, I wouldn't say wasn't in our peripherals when coming to season, but an anime that we know can deserve some time, fit in a busy lineup or schedule. So Daniel, I'll let you take the lead. What was your spotlight of choice?
Okay, so mine is Sengoku Yoko, and this is it's a series being animated by White Fox. It's a historical fantasy series set in Japan, I believe, or like a Japan adjacent area. And I believe this is a series that needs to be watched because one, it's going to be 37 episodes, so I'm assuming they're gonna adapt the whole manga, and it's adapting a series that came out in 2007. So you get, even though I wouldn't classify this as old, but you get a lot of traditional shonen vibes from this series, which, for me, it's a nice feeling. It kind of reminds me of why I really do enjoy these action shonen series. And I believe this series is doing a lot of things well. The main cast, it takes you a while. I wouldn't even say it takes you a while, but as you're watching the episodes, you grow more attached, and the story is interesting. You have humans and katawa, which are kind of like yokai or monsters. And you have the main guy that we meet, Shinsuke, and then he meets these 2 people called Tama and Jinka, and then the story goes from there. It's hitting emotional beats, and I feel like when the story starts to hit you emotionally, that's when I'm actually invested in the story. And that's how when you're not even feeling like, oh no, I actually care about this character, and you're like surprised by the fact that you care. I feel like that's a mark of a great story. And we're about 11 episodes in so far, and it's just been it's been another sleeper hit for me. And I think this is the true sleeper hit, because even though Ninja Kamui is cool, I believe this is going to be great, and it's going to continue to improve, because animation wise, amazing, art wise, amazing, and then story wise and what's happening with the characters is really great. I feel like this one would have definitely been fun to do the AK watch for. It's just like 37 episodes is just
chunky.
It's just very tricky. But I would definitely like to talk about this series with some other people just to see, because I feel like it's underwatched, but that doesn't stress me at all.
I'm definitely down to watch that. I'm 100% down to watch that. I need to add it to my list though, so I remember it, so I can start it. And I know that next season especially is not going to be that crazy with anime. And I'm pretty well up to date with anything I'm watching, so I'm more than happy to watch that. Yeah, man, and it was good to conversate about it. You sold it to me, that's for sure. I'm not gonna lie to you, sold it to me.
Okay, thank you.
For me, mine is a season 2 special spotlight. To you know it. Martial, Muscle and Magic. And I think for me, why I think I wanted to really shout this out, it's just for an anime like Martial to be adapted from a manga and take the kind of internet and world by storm, for you to build up on that and do it again. Obviously heavily influenced by the banger in the opening that had everybody and their grandma dancing. I promise you definitely seen the TikToks. Everybody was dancing to that. But for me, Martial just continued to deliver. It's kind of like, it has a really deep message, but just the lightheartedness of it and the focus on friendships, the focus on good versus evil, just the box standard story, but done in such a friendly, inspiring, magical way. And that's what I've kind of continued to appreciate about this series, and it's one that if you have not been watching, you should definitely watch. You will not be disappointed. And it will be, it's one of those, it might be adjustment depending on what kind of anime you're into, but I know if you just give it its time, it will grasp you like it's grasped us all, or the allotted group of us who are taking our protein shakes and banging gym, trying to fit in our spandex to look like Martial.
Yeah, man.
Stay motivated. Every time I see him, I say, do you know, might do an extra cheeky sesh.
Of course. That guy's hench, man. In fact, he's not even hench. If you look up the definition of hench, it's a picture of him, bruv.
He 100% built different. Actually built different. Stoic in his face and expressions, but he has a love for food.
And his friends.
And his dad, his adopted dad.
Yeah. That's really wholesome. I can't lie to you. I really like that. Everything the whole motivation of him even going to the schools because of his adoptive father. Yeah,
man. It's special. And you can just see how he inspires all the other characters, and how he. It's cliche because it's kind of like power of friendship, but obviously power of muscle, but power of friendship in the way he gets people to believe that the limitations that this world has, he's been born into, the limitation that he has, he can overcome it. And all these people who have amassed a great level of power and influence are still like, do you know, I think that's the guy who's going to change it all. That's the guy I'm going to choose to believe. But yeah, man, I don't know if you've been watching it this season. Have you been enjoying it?
I haven't been watching it. I mean, I've already heard the opening, and that's pretty much it. So
I know you're always booked out, so I don't even blame you. Always booked out with your shows. Well, we're coming to the end of this winter discussion. It has been a great one, as always. Last thoughts on winter season 2024.
Before that, I just wanted to say, you know, the people who did the opening for the Mashal are the same people who did the Call of the Night opening. That's probably why it was a banger.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
They don't miss. They don't actually miss. Oh my god.
242 right now.
But how do you go to the studio and start saying bling blong blong? Like, who does that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
that's cold.
That's probably best opening this season. I'll try and review, but that's probably the best one. Just it's unique too. You know, you always get the rock rock openings. That's probably like the standard. This is like some sort of techno rap with this just a madness. But yeah, shout out to them. They did a good job.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them for sure. Do you want to close us out? If that's all.
Sure. So yeah, as always, we were talking about the winter anime, and there were some highs, and I feel like we had more highs than lows, which is always good. And we aspire to do the same for the spring. And there's a lot of good things for the spring, and I don't feel like we're gonna miss. I feel like we're gonna go 4 for 4 in the spring. So when we are back for the spring review, it will be all smiles, all sunshine, as the season normally tells you. But yeah, it was Raguel and me, Daniel, and we will catch you in the springtime. Peace.
Peace.
Love you.